Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Patrons video today that I'm making for Wudi as part of their custom monthly music review. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a video on the screen. It's a live video from an act named Miyuna titled Even in a Dream. Demo, right? I'm learning Japanese at the moment. I'm starting to get the hang of some of the katakana and hiragana. Like the kanji is beyond me, but we're getting there. But anyways, we're gonna listen through this track from start till finish. We're gonna hear what we think. Let's go. Oh, it's spacey with those reverses and delays, eh? Fantastic choice of vocal range. Fantastic mix. I mean, it's just tremendous. The band is really tight, and it was such a smooth transition into getting all the elements in there. It's always difficult in these reviews because, like, I enjoy doing them, don't get me wrong, but you really have to pay attention, and sometimes I even find myself having to re-listen through tracks just because of how subtle the builds are and the little nuances and everything like that. But that is the character of a well-written piece of music, to be honest. I love that tone on the acoustic though. I love that reverb talent. It's dope. And the drummer is really tight. Back to that dreaming bridge. Oh wow, guitar solo now? I mean, I'm blown away, dude. Sorry, we'll go back a little bit to enjoy this, but I just want to say how much of a class act that guitar solo is. It's one of the most pure expressions of passion that I've seen in quite a while. It's so wonderful to have such vocal control, and then for like the guitar to just go just so nuts, and everyone, including the drummer, is just having such a fantastic time. It's like everyone is just getting lost in the music, man. It's awesome. You come down like that, right? I mean, such power in the voice as well to be able to be that far away from the microphone but still belt like that. And just it doesn't resolve. You don't get the kind of ending where it's like, it just kind of fades out like that. It's wild, man. It's incredible. I love the song to pieces. Well done, Wudi. Well done. Awesome stuff. Good choice. Guys, welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Miyuna titled Even in a Dream. What do I think this track is about? Well, I actually got little bits of words and stuff. There was stuff about tanoshi, which I think is fun, and there's a shashin, which is like photo. So I'm wondering if they're talking about like fun and photos and stuff like that in there. I could also be completely wrong. My Japanese is super basic, but I'm starting to pick up words and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if it's about like memories and stuff like that, and it's about the fun you used to have and everything like that. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but I'm continuing to do my Japanese because I want to go to Japan and go explore and stuff. And anyway, we're moving on. I think the vocal performance from the singer was wonderful, clearly sensational. Held the room from the start till finish. We were very expressive. We understood how to express ourselves in quieter and louder parts. We always managed to fit the mood and intensity we needed, both dynamically and in regards to expression. The different melodies we had were compelling. We were the main vocalists throughout. There did not need to be harmonies. We had more than enough going on with the backing composition to be able to make up for that. There were no weak points. Wonderful stuff. Excellent. Very intense performance, but absolutely worth listening to. Shout out as well to the occasional bits of like vocal crackle that you could hear when we were really feeling those words. You know, it was the wonderment of an organic human performance. In a day and age where things are going to get more difficult to be able to tell what's real and what's not in regards to live performances and everything like that, you could tell that this hits hard, man. It's dope. It's good. The track itself at 4 minutes 55 was wonderfully laid. You start with the guitars, and they have this wonderful sort of dreamy reverb, which, you know, I'm not trying to sort of self-promote here. I managed to get a similar reverb on my track I was working on recently called Feast, and I love the fact that they got that simply from an acoustic guitar and just plugging it in with some reverb stats. So it's like maybe a Strymon or something like that, but it's a wonderful tone to that guitar there. It fills the room because of how much it repeats itself and oscillates, and it's tremendous. And you know, as you develop the track and you add more story in, and then you bring the keys, the bass, and the drums in, it's huge. You know, it's huge. It doesn't come in together all at once. You inevitably have like the drums come in, with like the guitar and the bass kind of coming and plodding along, and then you build from there. You rise up, and it never really comes back down until the end. You know, it's just this massive journey that you're going on. But there's no filler. The transitions are seamless. The harmonies and melodies are wonderful. The rhythms on the various parts are great. You can clearly distinguish between different parts of the structure, and there was even a little solo around the later half. So we'll talk about the different instruments there. I appreciated the acoustic guitar working again. I loved the wonderment of the initial acoustic tone there, but also the rhythm parts when they came in later on, both the accompaniment, like the combination of the steel strings plus the distorted guitar there, or the overdriven guitar there, with the absolutely frenetic, chaotic, but completely, I was enamored with the guitar solo there. It was just such a pure expression of freedom. It was art, man. It was dope. I love how raw and visceral that was, and how it managed to sort of come together with everything else. There's a wonderful chemistry between the band members, if not exhibited by that alone. But also, I got to give a shout out to the bassist, because the bassist kept up with the guitar pretty well. I like the fact that we weren't just staying down there in the root notes. We went up into the upper you could literally see them going up to the upper ranges of the fretboard. I like that we explored the other strings that we have on that instrument. There are 4 or 5 for a reason, and I dig it. I adore it. I think that the bass player was nice and tight with their rhythms as well, and kept a great sense of connection to the drums. The drummer was wild, dude. They were all over the kit, man, but not in the way where it was detrimental. They had a great sense of pace. They kept time really well. They were very sort of like solid, and they had a great sort of stick technique, and there were lots of 8/4, 8th, 16th, and even maybe triplet grooves and stuff like that, maybe even 16th triplets. But we had lots of variety with the different cymbal grooves and fills, and that bass line combined with the various different chord progressions there, you know, like the icing on the cake effectively outside of the vocals, even with the guitar solo section and stuff like that, were the keys there. We had an organ coming a bit later on. It was a bit more subtle, but it added a nice sort of sense of glow in the mid to high range there. We added a sense of romanticism and wonderment to it, and it was just a nice bit of decoration on top there. It allowed for a bit of sparkle to it. I love when you can find that little gap to put something extra in that elevates it, and it just had a sense of old school nostalgia to it with the timey tones of like the 70s and 80s as well. It kind of had a bluesy organish kind of like a church organish kind of thing to it. When you combine it with the kind of I don't know how to describe it, like rock, alt rock sort of infusions there with a bit of the clean stuff, misty clean stuff initially. It's just a wonderful combination of different ingredients within this mix, with a really tight live performance without a note out of place. And the theme overall, before I go to the studio recording, mixing and mastering, was dope, man. I think that ultimately it didn't resolve itself. You had it definitely had extensions in the progressions which indicate that there was a bit of complexity in regards to the major or minors, and so you had maybe some cues, feelings, or uncertainty there. Things were very somber at the start, so maybe we were quietly thinking about something. Gradually the thoughts climb, we come out of it. This is what the music is communicating to me. And then we get to a point inevitably where we just smash it out of the park. We're just like vibrant, and that passion is pure in the music itself, and everyone is elevated. And then that theme reveals itself with the raw nature of that guitar solo there, and you have the final evolution of that to the point where we go through that chorus one more time. We do not resolve. Maybe we have not found a solution we needed, but we got the release we wanted. So yeah, I think ultimately is very satisfying. Listen, it's a very well done track, and the fact they did this well live is stunning. But the studio recording, mixing, and mastering is the icing on the cake for me. To me, it doesn't matter like necessarily how well you do with your performance. If it sounds like crap, it's not going to be a good time. And luckily for us, this live performance sounded absolutely majestic. It was wonderful. They did a fantastic job of handling everything from the vocals to the guitar, the various guitar parts, the bass, the drums, and the organs, the various key parts there. Wonderfully articulate, lovingly mixed. Things are nice and wide in the stereo field. You know, things popped up in different parts and different regions, especially, you know, as things developed in the intro. Things were nicely layered within the frequency spectrum as well. There were no resonant frequencies. It was very, very well handled. There was a bit of dynamic range as well. Things were not the same loudness the entire time, but it was still nice and loud without pumping, so the bus compression and limiting was handled. And just to be clear, the singer did not need help. They could just sing. They sang incredibly well. I was blown away by their vocal performance for sure. And it was awesome. But I mean, effectively, this is my review of this track from an ex named Miyuna, titled Even in a Dream. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show them some love via their various social medias and their YouTube page. And stay cool and stay safe. And please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as either help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next SB Patrons video. Spiderhands out.